Hi, I'm Mike Rooney. Today's free art lesson is on sight drawing. What I'm going to try to show you how to do is to be able to draw quickly and accurately. I'm a plein air artist, so I always talk about painting outside, but it doesn't matter if you're in the studio or whatnot. If you've got a study that you did outside, you want to bring it and blow it up, this applies to that too. What we're going to use today is just a picture I tore out of a surf magazine. It's got a lot of geometric shapes in it, so it's going to be really good for drawing about or talking about how to draw this accurately onto this canvas. Now this goes for whether you're outside or whether you're drawing it in the studio. I'm going to show you some ways to use one thing to draw the other thing. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of freestyle it and follow along with me, and let's see how we can draw this onto this canvas over here. First thing we're going to do is I'm going to start by saying that we're not trying to get an excellent drawing. You know, I've got to do these in just a few minutes, but I will show you the basics of how to get the shapes on there correctly. That's what I'm trying to do. I always draw in magenta just because I love it. It's a nice, warm, and cool color. I know that doesn't make sense, but it can look warm or cool depending on what's around it. So I like to draw with it. So we're gonna look at this and say that we wanted to draw this table and these little rugs and these couches on this canvas. So let's say we're going to use a kind of maybe a 3-4 proportion painting. So we're going to have to draw it on here too, because we got to make sure that we keep this accurate too. So if I cut it off about right here, that'll make it about 3-4. Okay, pretty similar. Okay. What you do is you have to break this thing up quickly and figure out what is on what line or axis. Okay, so usually what I do if I'm drawing it from here, I'll break this lesson down into 2 stages. One, I'm drawing from this, and maybe on the next free art lesson I'll talk about how to do it like this, like using it and you're doing it 1-to-1. The tree's that big, I move my finger down and I make the tree that way. We'll save that for another one. Let's talk about taking this and putting it on here really quickly. Now what you want to do is you might have, in high school, you might have learned how to grid something. I do something that's kind of like that, but it's a little bit different in a way. What I do is I go across, I make an X like this, and then I go across where it meets in the middle on the horizon type line, and then one on the vertical, one on the horizontal, one on the vertical, so that it makes these little pie-shaped wedges right there. And then I just use those to make sure that I get this thing drawn on here the same way. So long as I go like that, I know that my axis is the same. I go through the horizon line, I go through the vertical line, or horizontal line and the vertical line. So now I've got it pretty close, and I make sure that I look and see that this triangle kind of looks like that one, and it doesn't, does it? This one's a little bit longer, so it's not going to come out right. It's going to look a little distorted if I do it this size. So that tells me I've got this too narrow. So I'm going to extend it out a little bit to make sure that I get this and that the same, because if you don't, you're going to be messed up. So now I'm going to go through there, through there, through there, and through there. So now let's go ahead and change the color a little bit so I don't get confused. We'll add just a little bit of some cobalt violet to it, just so I know that these are the lines instead of the other ones. Okay? So now all we got to do is pick out something, pick out an object, and put it in the same place as it is on here. So I look up here, and let's go ahead and say, what's running right on that horizontal line? The edge of the table is running right on the horizontal line. Okay? We come over here and we look and we say, this couch touches the top of this point, so it's about right there, and we draw the couch, the top of the couch that way, we draw the bottom of the couch down that way. It runs into the horizontal line, see how it touches the horizontal line there, and then we just draw it straight down, and then there's the shape of the couch. Now if I get the shape of the couch, I know where the rug should be. If I get the table, I know where that sculpture should be. I know that that plant has to be, okay, let's figure out where this top shelf is on this line. We look and we see that it's about right there. It's about 1/4 of the way up from here to here. So here's the top shelf. and you make sure that it runs in the same, it runs out to the same place on the couch, and look, it does. It runs out to halfway the height of this couch, and ours is running out halfway the height of the couch. So make sure that every line that you put down is right, because if you don't, then it throws off all the other lines. So long as you stay right, long as you keep double checking yourself, you know you're okay. So if that's the tabletop on the top shelf, look where that planter runs. The flower in the vase runs right parallel to the top, or to this line here, to our horizontal line. All right, so it runs out here. Where does it end? It ends about right there. Okay, and that's where the sculpture is. So this other sculpture is right here. So that means our other sculpture, where does it end? It ends, let's see, this goes about a little over a third of the way from the end. Goes out a third and comes down. So see, this is how you just take this and put it right on there. So you can come out now, and now you've got a few lines that work. You know, you can basically fake in, or not fake in, but now you know where everything else is. You can basically draw it in because you know where everything goes. So you draw, let's see, you draw the rug in here. Now see, I've already got the table out of whack. Doesn't mean once you start drawing it all just clicks, okay? I need to move the couch over a little bit. I'm going to put the rug in right here. The rug comes down and around like so. Now another important thing is to check this negative shape. Now Mike, what do you mean by negative shape? This right here, I'm drawing the rug, right? I'm trying to draw the rug. This makes a shape also. It's called the negative shape. See this white block? I can also draw that white block. If I draw that white block, I draw the left side of the rug. So all I have to do is draw this white block onto my painting like so. And in my workshops, I teach workshops, I tell these people, you heard them call shapes, I call them states. You know how you look at a state, New Jersey has a certain shape. It's a state. Virginia, you can't mistake Virginia's shape, North Carolina shape, Florida. Some states are really easy to pick out. This is a state. So think of this as a state. What shape am I making for that state? So it looks something like that. So I know that I've got that negative space right. I know that I've got this negative space right. So there's my rug. Now guess what? Now I can figure out where my tabletop ends, because it ends halfway through the rug. See that line running through the rug? So I draw a line through my rug. I know that the table runs here and ends right on that line. So the bottom of this table runs right there. So now by figuring out this, I figured out that. So you just continue to do that until you finish and get this on there. And you can do it really quick. I mean, I was taking my time explaining it. It's a whole lot easier to do it than it is to explain it. But use one thing to compare to another thing, and once you get a few states drawn in, then it's pretty easy to finish out the whole thing. I hope you enjoyed this free art lesson. If you'd like to find out more about me, you can go to MikeRooneyStudios.blogspot.com.